So 178, number 181. So 15/16, 7/8, 1/4, 1/8, and 1/16. So if half of the air in a tank is removed with each stroke of a vacuum pump, what fraction of the original amount of air has been removed after 4 strokes? So 4 cycles of this vacuum pump. So the first one removes half of the air. So only half of the air is left, and each stroke removes one half. So if we have 1/2 of the air left and it removes 1/2, it's 1/2 times 1/2. Now there is only 1/2 of 1/2. Come on, give me the dot. There we go. Now there's only 1/2 of 1/2 of the air left on the third stroke, and it removes 1/2. On the final stroke, it removes half of that value. So we have to add together the fractions. So each of these represents what fraction of the total tank the vacuum pump has removed. So we have 1/2 plus 1/4 plus 1/8 plus 1/16. And we convert it all into sixteenths, so this is 8/16 plus 4/16 plus 2/16 plus 1/16. 8 plus 4 is 12. 12 and another 3 gives us 15/16. Answer choice A. You might have, if you're more of a visual person, you can imagine a tank. They don't usually make square tanks, but it's easier to divide it into quarters. So the first stroke removes half. The second removes half of that. The third removes half of that, and then the fourth stroke removes half of that. So this is all that's left, and if you're kind of figuring out how this is divided, you can kind of see that it ends up being 1/16 because then it ends up being a 4x4 square. You're not always going to be able to do it visually, but again, the GMAT is kind of a by any means necessary. Oh, I shouldn't say by any means necessary. Cheating is naughty. But however you can correctly, appropriately, and quickly arrive at the correct answer, that's the way to go. Right. Number 182. So 178, number 182. So we have 181, 165, 121, 99, and 44. So if the two-digit integers m and n are positive and have the same digits, but in reverse order, which of the following cannot be the sum of m and n? So when you get digit questions like this, it is often good to just create individual numbers for the place values. So we can just say t equals the tens digit. We can say u equals the units digit. We could call it the ones digit, but 0 is the worst. O is the worst variable to use because it looks like 0. Good story. Anyway, tens and units. So if that's the case, the actual value of m would be 10 times the tens digit and just u times the units digit. Since the digits on n are reversed, we would have n equals 10 times that units digit plus, 1 times the tens digit. So then we need to figure out the sum of m and n. So we can just add them together. So m plus n equals 10t plus u plus 10u plus t. 10t plus 1 more t equals 11t. 1u plus 10 more u equals 11u. M plus n. So m plus n then equals 11 times the sum of the tens digit and the units digit. So no matter what, m plus n is going to be a multiple of 11, no matter what tens and units digit we choose. So whatever the correct answer choice is, it needs to, the correct answer choice needs to not be a multiple of 11, because the question is asking which one cannot be the sum of m and n. So right away we can cross off these two guys. 121 is 11 times 11. So we're left between 165 and 181. Let's just pick one. We'll do 165 divided by 11. 1. Maybe you could have done that in your head. I'm not that smart. So 5 times 11, 55. Okay, so this one is a multiple of 11, leaving only answer choice A, 181, as being not a multiple of 11, and therefore not a possible sum of m plus n. Okay. 178, number 183. So 2/3, 1, 1 and 1/3, 1 and 3/5, and 3. So car X and car Y traveled the same 80-mile route. If car X took 2 hours and car Y traveled at an average speed that was 50% faster than the average speed of car X, how many hours did it take car Y to travel the route? Or route, depending on where you grew up. So one formula that's important to remember on the GMAT, one of many, there's lots of important formulas, but this one's pretty big. Average speed, that's a V for average. Average speed equals total distance over total time. So we have car X, which did 80 miles total distance, total time in 2 hours, so its average speed was 40. Car Y, we don't actually know how fast it went, or do we? The question actually tells us that it was 50% faster. A 50% increase on 40, 50% of 40 is 20, so we add 20 onto 40. Car Y must have been going 60, which is 50% faster. Okay, so car Y went, if car Y is going 60 miles every 1 hour, how long did it take it to go 80 miles? We'll call that X. So cross multiply, 60x equals 80, and X equals 1 and 1/3. You could have also said, what do I need to multiply, looking at this original fraction here, or equation, what do I need to multiply 60 times to get 80? 1/3 of 60 is 20, so we would need to add 20 on, so it's 1 1/3. 80 is 1 1/3 of 60. Gives us answer choice C. All right. 178, 184. 11, 15 and 3/4, 22, 23, 25 and 3/10. So if the average of the four numbers k, 2k plus 3, 3k minus 5, and 5k plus 1 is 63, what is the value of k? Straightforward. You just have to remember the average formula. It's a V, really. Average equals the sum of the numbers divided by the number of numbers. So we need to figure out the sum. We have k plus 2k plus 3 plus 3k minus 5 plus 5k plus 1. And we have 4 numbers total. That was k, 2k plus 3, 3k minus 5, 5k plus 1. 4 numbers divided by 4, that equals 63. So we multiply both sides by 4 and then kind of add up all of our k's and constants here. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We have 11 k's. Plus 3 plus 1 is 4. Minus 5 gives us minus 1. 11k minus 1 equals 63 times 4, which equals 252. So 11k equals 253. I can't do that in my head. 253 by 11, so 22, 33. Now, obviously, when you get here and see it's a multiple of 11, you don't necessarily have to do it the rest of the way. I'm doing it for your benefit. Anyway, so 11 goes into 253 23 times. K equals 23. Answer choice D.